Us live now is the Independent Senator Jacqui Lambie. Senator, good to see you. Thank you for your time this morning. So I just want to pick up from a conversation I just had with Karen Andrews, Shadow Home Affairs Minister, where she believes that the border should be shut with Indonesia, effectively doubling down after Dan Tehan mentioned this on Sky News yesterday. How do you feel about that? Would you support our border with Indonesia being closed?
Would support is the Labor Party getting over there to speak to their Indonesian counterparts so we don't have this ongoing collision that the Liberal Party caused with other countries, and make sure that we do this right. It is a problem, Pete. I'm terribly concerned about it, especially with our beef and our cattle and our pigs and whatever that we have in Tasmania. A lot of that is the economy. So for me, mate, when people are saying to me and they're saying, hey, I've got my shoes here and they've been cleaned, and I say, did you clean the ones in your suitcase? Did you clean your, the ones in your suitcase? We've got fragments coming in already, Pete. That's a real worry. If this thing hits the country, it will absolutely destroy our cattle industry. There's no anything with a hoof, mate. It hits that, we're gone, we're finished. So it's really scary. So
just back to my question then. With all of that said, and what you've said is correct, it would be catastrophic for our industry. So should the border be effectively closed until tougher measures are imposed?
I think the discussion needs to be taken with our Indonesian counterparts. I'm not on the ground over there. I'm not sure exactly what they're doing to eliminate this coming to Australia on their side, which is making that a little bit difficult for me to call that right now. So I would like to know, but it will be catastrophic, mate. But I want to find a balance here without annoying them, okay? And if that means we shut it in 2 days, well, let's get over there.
Okay, well, Murray Watt has been there, and the measures that he's imposed so far, he's got these protective mats that have been placed at international airports. There are screening measures that have already been in place. That was a result of the last government. So is that not enough? Is more needed beyond that?
I haven't seen his scoping and what he's done exactly, mate. I haven't had a briefing with him at all. But, like many others, we are terribly concerned about this for our cattle industry here in Australia. But once again, we don't, if we've got to shut it down, we need to make sure that Indonesia is briefed in what we're doing and work in conjunction with them as to not upset them. But yes, mate, if we need to do that, that's what needs to be done. Okay,
I mean, that would have a fairly significant consequences on travel, on tourism. Everyone's trying to get on their feet after COVID. It would be worth putting that aside, is what you're saying?
Mate, I don't know, people out there, now, you can't just flip a cow out and eat it in a month. To rebuild an industry like that takes, if not 2 to 4 years. You've got to do recalving, you've got to get rid of the disease. The price of meat is already stacked up, it has gone through the roof. So I can tell you now, if this thing hits Australia, we're in a lot of trouble, so weigh it up. And I can tell you, if that means having to close the border to keep that safe for ourselves, and that's what we need to be doing.
Okay. A couple of bills on the top of the agenda. Parliament's back next week. Everyone's pumped up about that. Are you ready for it, Jacqui Lambie?
Pumped? Yeah, no, not really, mate. I think most of it's just protocol the first week. There's not much going on.
Okay, well...
And I've got no idea...
Yeah, 4 bills at the top of the agenda, according to Anthony Albanese. So first we've got the Aged Care Amendment, Jobs and Skills Australia Bill, Fair Work Amendment, but the big one, I suppose, being the Climate Change Bill. The Greens have already, laid their cards out. They said they're not going to support any attempts at legislation if there are going to be new coal and gas projects. So where do you see this ending up?
Once again, we can't turn coal and gas off overnight, mate, so that's just ridiculous to put that on them. Quite frankly, I think that he could probably get the numbers if they're looking at that 39–40%. But first of all, we need to set a target. So if the Greens want to play up like silly little buggers, let them go play up, and I can only hope the Liberals come to some sense and, actually set a target. We need to set a target, mate. We've got to be ambitious here and we need to set something. But once again, you can't turn coal and gas off overnight, mate. It just doesn't work like that. Let's be realists here.
Yeah, okay. Just fine. You're in Melbourne. Do you pay much attention to the IBAC report yesterday that came out?
Yes, mate, I did. Thank you. Yes, very disappointing.
What did you think of it?
Very disappointing. Makes me really sad that that politicians actually believe that they can get away with this sort of crap. I mean, seriously, that they're so untouchable. What I know is that 1/3 of you voters out there are voting for independence, and if the major parties keep up this sort of behaviour, whether it's state or federal, then you are going to be non-existent in years to come. And I see that depleting very, very quickly. You cannot keep doing this. And you know within those parties, even before these reports are done, what's been going on. I know how it works up there. So some of you are covering butt as well, and you shouldn't be. It is time to get this sorted. People want to look up to politicians, and right now that's not where we are. They're looking down at us, and it's disgusting.
Jacqui Lambie, good to see you. Hope you're well. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you.